Hello, friends. Welcome to Tuesdays with Trish. I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. Today, I want to talk about the emotional side of travel that no one really talks about. So, I just had this beautiful trip to Grand Cayman. The water was stunning, the landscape was spectacular, there was incredible wildlife, the people were kind and welcoming, and I even made a very special connection with someone on this trip. There was also a lively party where I got to even wear a fun, sparkly dress, and I am sorry about the trail of sequins I left everywhere. And I got to wear some Elton John-esque shoes. It was really fun. The atmosphere was radiant and celebratory. So why did I find myself feeling off during the trip? There was the right amount of adventure activity, snorkeling, experiencing unique flora and fauna, and hammock relaxing. And yet, when I finally got home, and more on that later, I felt blah, lonely, and not myself. What was this all about? Have you ever felt like this after a trip? If you have, please drop a note in the comments. I'd like to know that I'm not the only one. Or maybe I am. Thank you. Anyway, let me know what you think. So I was on what one might call a girls' celebration trip. Super fun, right? Yes, it was. But I never felt fully aligned. I now always look through life through the human design lens. So, as a projector, I am very sensitive to energy and environments. And with my undefined sacral, I can take in a lot of energy that's not necessarily mine and then amplify it. And if I don't cleanse or ground daily at least, it can weigh on me. And when I'm traveling, I don't just go somewhere, I feel it. I feel the people, the conversations, the depth, or even the lack of it. And the one thing I really noticed on this trip is how important it is for me to feel invited into connection. That's a projector aspect. Not in a literal way, but energetically. And when that's not fully there, my system knows. Not because anything's wrong, but because that's how I'm designed. I am designed to wait for the invitation. That means so many different things in so many different situations. And that is something that I can go in with you if you're interested in knowing your human design. Right now, I'm just going to stick to the travel aspect. So I am also a 1-3 profile. That's my experimenter and my investigator energy. So it means I'm here to learn through experience. So every trip I take, every place I go, every group I'm with, I'm gathering information, whether consciously or unconsciously. What works for me? What doesn't? What feels aligned? What doesn't? And sometimes the lesson is simply, that was nice, but it's just not really for me. And this is where the travel by design comes in. Because not all travel is created equal and it is not meant to be. Just because something is beautiful or fun or popular doesn't mean it's aligned for you. There's a difference between travel that looks good, travel that's fun, and travel that actually feeds your soul. And those are not always the same thing. Nothing was wrong with the trip, but it showed me what truly is right for me. And when I returned home, I realized there's something very real that happens after travel. Your body, your brain have been in a state of constant stimulation. New places, new people, movement, energy, and then suddenly it all stops. And your system kind of goes, wait, what just happened? And I am calling that post-travel emotional drop. And it's not because anything went wrong. It's because your nervous system is recalibrating. So now a bit about my trek home, which you will understand added to my post-travel emotional drop. I live in Hawaii, and if you guys are following Hawaiian news lately, there have been some crazy, crazy storms here, devastating. From what I understand, it has rained harder than it has rained in years. And I was coming home on Saturday, which was the big day, the big wind, the big rain. They canceled every flight into, I think probably the whole state, but definitely onto the Big Island. I was coming from Chicago. After my trip to the Caymans, I spent a couple nights in Chicago with some dear friends, which was wonderful. So my airline that I used to work for had one nonstop or Chicago Kona flight a week, and perfect. I was going to get on the flight. I'm on the way to the airport, wondering about the weather. I've been hearing about the weather, and of course, it canceled. So I get to the airport, and now I've got to get myself to the west. I need to get out of Chicago because it's going to start snowing in Chicago. Now, one beautiful benefit of being a flight attendant for so long is that I get to travel standby wherever I want for free. Again, standby. So when something like this happens, all the passengers are going to be flying standby because all the flights have canceled. So most everyone was re uh, rebooked through LA and San Francisco. San Francisco had more flights to Kona, so I wanted to get myself to San Francisco. I was not going to get myself from Chicago to San Francisco. So I saw next door in the other gate that there was a flight to Palm Springs, California. Never would have thought of that, but I looked it up. There's seats on that flight, and then there's a flight to San Francisco after that, a couple hours after the flight to Palm Springs. So I went through Palm Springs. It was beautiful, warm. I'd never been to that airport. Very cute airport, very Art Deco. And then made my way to San Francisco, spent the night in San Francisco, got on the next flight, fortunately. So that's great. Now I'm getting home. But I am watching Facebook and I am seeing the flooding and I am seeing roofs flying off of restaurants and I am seeing roads blocked. And I'm like, oh, okay. I can get to Kona, but can I get to my house? I live sometimes an hour more or more from the airport. Um, so there's that to add to my little bit of stress. So I made it. I got there. A friend picked me up. The roads were open. I got home. I had very minimal damage. Actually, no damage. Just some things blew over. Everything was wet. But I am so, so grateful. Everything was fine. And some people weren't so lucky. And I am sending all the healing and love and light energy to those of you who were less fortunate. And I am so sorry that you have to go through what you're going through, and hopefully the ohana here, the community in Hawaii have already seen that they are pulling together and helping people. So by the time I walked in the door, you would think that I should have felt relief. And I did. Don't get me wrong. I did feel some relief. But I still kind of felt like off and questioned why I felt this way. Now, when I get home from a trip, I take a day. I take a day and do nothing and just chill and again recalibrate my nervous system, re-engage all my human design aspects and live out my emotional wave and then everything's good usually a day later. But 2 days later, I am still feeling this. And instead of trying to fix it, which my emotional wave wanted me to do on many different levels, or book another trip, I won't lie, I did look up some cruises, but that's not necessarily the answer to keep running away. I just let myself be me. I rested, I stayed home. I watched a cheesy Hallmark movie, which honestly probably helped me more than anything. And I gave my nervous system time to land. And by the third day, which is today, I feel like myself again. So, yeah, sometimes it takes more than one day to get through my post-travel emotional drop. And here's what I took away from this experience. Sometimes travel culture leans in a direction that doesn't fully align with how I like to experience a place. Nothing was wrong with the trip, but it showed me what is truly right for me. It reminded me that I'm not here for surface level experiences. I'm here for depth, connection, meaning, energy that feels good in my body. And I did have those experiences. I did. But sometimes I just need more. So I did get through my post travel emotional drop, and I am ready for the next lesson in traveling. So this is where you come in. I have another comment for you to drop in the box. Where should I go next? I am pretty open. I'm thinking about Panama. I've done a little bit of research, and one of my astrocartography line runs through Panama. I think it's my Jupiter. I have to double check. But where would you recommend I go? Where should I go next? Where do you think I will be most soul aligned? Where have you gone that isn't in my book already? I need to add some places for my new books. So let me know. Again, drop a comment. Please subscribe if this resonates with you and like. That's very important. I've learned. I used to hear it all the time, but now I really get that it's very helpful. The more subscribers you have, I need a few more so I can start doing lives and uh, get more experience and more ideas and more travel out there to the people who want it. Have a wonderful day. Aloha, mahalo. Love you guys, and I will see you next time.